Ash? Any suggestions from you or Mother?
No, we're still collating.
You what? You're still collating?
At first glance, it might seem like humanity has only one enemy in the Alien cinematic universe: the Xenomorph. A perfect organism, a ruthless predator. It's the creature our heroes always end up fighting. But there's another antagonist in this story. Less obvious, but just as dangerous. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation.
The company sent me here to show your friendly face, to demonstrate how important you are to us.
It appears in every film of the franchise, from Ridley Scott's original to Romulus and Alien Earth.
Say that's Weyland-Yutani.
That's us.
Yeah, that's who we work for.
Even the Predator universe isn't free of its reach. But here's the thing. The Xenomorph kills because it's in its nature. Weyland-Yutani kills because it's in the business plan. Time and again, they sacrifice people, entire colonies, all for one goal: to get their hands on a Xenomorph specimen. But here's the real question. Why do they want this monster so badly? Is it just for profit? Or are they trying to play God?
Which leads to an obvious conclusion. We are the gods now.
That's what we'll try to figure out in this video. Before we dive into the question of the company's true motives, let's take a moment to remember how Weyland-Yutani is portrayed in the Alien universe. Weyland-Yutani is one of the franchise's main invisible antagonists. It first appears in Ridley Scott's Alien, though the name isn't explicitly mentioned. The characters simply refer to it as the Company.
It's a damn company. What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
Still, its logo and the name Weyland-Yutani can be spotted on various props, like food cans aboard the Nostromo. Even in this first film, the company's ruthless policies are revealed. In pursuit of potential profit from the alien organism, corporate leadership deems the entire crew expendable. They secretly instruct the android Ash to ensure the creature is brought back, at any cost.
Bring back life form. Priority 1. All other priorities rescinded.
In James Cameron's Aliens, the company is now clearly named. Weyland-Yutani is shown to own the colony on LVI 426.
The company has already agreed to pick up your contract.
Would you do me a favor? Just think about it.
And bankroll the Marines expedition.
These colonial Marines are very tough hombres. They're packing state-of-the-art firepower.
The colony's walls are lined with propaganda posters carrying the company's slogan, "Building Better Worlds." Company rep Carter Burke doesn't hesitate to risk human lives if it means bringing the Xenomorphs back to Earth. In Alien 3, Weyland-Yutani's obsession continues. Near the end of the film, a corporate strike team arrives on the prison planet, led by a man named Michael Bishop, whose identity is unclear. Is he human or android?
We want to help. We're going to take that out of you.
Keep it.
Alien Resurrection takes place much later, in the late 24th century. By then, Weyland-Yutani is long gone. According to supplementary material and even a line from the special edition, the corporation was bought out by none other than Walmart, and its place was taken by military contractors. Yet, in the expanded lore, the company eventually resurfaces and regains its influence as a major player. Outside the main quadrilogy and prequels, Weyland-Yutani appears in other parts of the franchise. In the crossovers Alien vs. Predator and Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, we're introduced to alternate versions of Weyland Industries and the Yutani Corporation. In the first film, billionaire Charles Bishop Weyland is active in 2004 and founds Weyland Industries. In the second, a character named Miss Yutani acquires Predator technology. However, it's important to note that these events contradict Ridley Scott's later canon, where the corporation is founded by a different person, and are no longer considered part of the main timeline. So, for this video, we'll stick with the official canon established in the films directed or influenced by Scott. In 2025, the Alien franchise gets a fresh chapter. The series Alien Earth premieres, and once again, Weyland-Yutani sits at the top of the corporate food chain, alongside other powerful companies. And in Predator Wastelands, the corporation even crosses into the Predator universe. Now that we've refreshed our memory on the company's role in the Alien saga, we can finally ask the big question: what drives this machine? It's obvious that one of the main motivations of large corporations is the simple greed for profit. In fictional worlds and dystopias, corporations are often depicted as soulless organizations that prioritize profit above all else. However, such manifestations naturally did not arise out of nowhere. Real business stories also know cases where the pursuit of profit led to the neglect of human life. A little later, I will talk about some particularly illustrative cases from real life. But first, a few words about Weyland-Yutani. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation's logo, with the ironic motto, "Building Better Worlds," naturally contradicts what is happening in reality. After all, the company is literally a symbol of corporate greed. Under the guise of noble slogans, it consistently demonstrates the worst traits of business. The management at Weyland-Yutani repeatedly sends teams to certain death, striving to capture alien creatures for weapons development and commercial gain, completely disregarding the fate of their employees.
As a damn company. What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
The image of an all-powerful and profit-hungry corporation has become an integral part of the dystopian and cyberpunk genre. Science fiction loves to portray giant mega-corporations that control all aspects of life, break all rules for profit, and oppress people under the guise of noble rhetoric. Just remember another Ridley Scott film, Blade Runner, and its Tyrell Corporation. This mega-corporation acts as a virtually godlike force, creating artificial human replicants for its own enrichment and power. The world of Blade Runner is literally saturated with the consequences of such corporate greed. The surrounding reality is a grim urban dystopia where technological progress coexists with decay, social inequality, and ecological decline. Practically every frame of the film condemns greed disguised as progress. The giant pyramid of the headquarters and Tyrell Towers over the slums, reminding the viewer that it is the endless pursuit of corporate profit that has created this unjust world. Thus, Blade Runner established the classic image of the corporation as a dystopian villain, showing where the principle of profit over people leads. Unfortunately, history knows many real situations where companies behaved like Weyland-Yutani or Tyrell. Let's consider a few illustrative cases. Ford Pinto in the 1970s. The American car company Ford discovered a defect in the fuel tank of the Pinto model, which led to fires and accidents. However, instead of urgently fixing it, the management calculated that paying compensation for possible deaths was cheaper than implementing an $11 improvement per car. In fact, the company put a price tag on human life, demonstrating a horrifying priority of profit over safety. Union Carbide in India. At the Union Carbide plant in India, the largest industrial release of toxic gas occurred. The investigation showed that the company, in order to save costs, cut budgets for safety and equipment maintenance, working with flagrant violations. As a result of the methyl isocyanate leak, at least 3,800 people died instantly, and an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 in the following years. Let's take more well-known names like Boeing. Boeing 737 MAX. The world-renowned aerospace corporation Boeing rushed to bring the new 737 MAX aircraft model to market in competition with Airbus. Within the company, engineers warned of issues affecting flight safety. However, management ignored the warnings to avoid delays and extra costs. One manager directly stated, "The military can afford to suspend flights for safety, but we are a commercial firm." Final congressional reports noted that the pursuit of profit and time savings became more important than safety, which was a factor in the two 737 MAX disasters, with 189 deaths in October 2018 and 157 in March 2019. Only after these tragedies were planes temporarily grounded, and the world learned about Boeing's culture, where profit over safety became an unspoken motto. And you know what's most curious about such mega corporations? Individually, almost all employees are good, honest, and genuinely decent people. But as a whole, the organization acts like a completely soulless machine. A corporation is made up of people, but its behavior often resembles an independent living organism with its own instincts for self-preservation and aggression, which suppress the individual morality of its members. Researchers even compare modern corporations to a clinical psychopath. Like this diagnosis, it exhibits similar psychopathic traits: superficial charm in sieges, a complete lack of empathy and guilt, lying and manipulation for profit, as well as reckless disregard for the safety of others. This pathological pursuit of profit and power is systemically ingrained. Essentially, corporate law obliges management to prioritize shareholder interests, that is, profit, above all else. In other words, a company has no soul or morality, only the goal to survive and earn, like a predator or parasite in an ecosystem. Individual employees may be ethical, but when they operate within a giant structure with the directive to maximize profit, the organization begins to live its own life. Like a complex organism, a corporation seeks expansion, absorbs competitors, adapts to laws to circumvent them, all for the sake of self-preservation and capital growth. It's no wonder the image of corporations as monsters is so deeply rooted in culture. From Weyland-Yutani to Tyrell, from real tobacco giants to Enron, we are surrounded by warnings of what happens when the thirst for profit drives an organization. Being a human creation, a large corporation, however, easily gets out of control, turning into a dangerous, independent predator. That's why in dystopias, corporations are depicted with classic villainous traits, and in real life, society demands transparency, ethics, and restrictions from them. Otherwise, as both fantasy and history show, the banal pursuit of profit can endanger human lives and the very essence of humanity. Despite the fact that the thirst for profit is one of the main and natural motives of such organizations, it is not necessarily the primary one. Perhaps it is only a secondary driving force. And all this is fully revealed to us in the film Prometheus, where we are introduced to the personality of the corporation's creator, Peter Weyland.
My name is Peter Weyland, and if you'll indulge me, I'd like to change the world.
It was his ambitions that largely defined the philosophy of Weyland-Yutani. Peter Weyland was a charismatic genius, combining the traits of an inventor, billionaire, and essentially an autocrat in his organization. His widely quoted statement at the TED conference in 2023,
"For those of you who know me, you will be aware by now that my ambition is unlimited. You know that I will settle for nothing short of greatness."
Weyland set grand goals for himself from a young age and achieved them. By the age of 14, he had registered dozens of patents, and in his early 20s, he made a scientific breakthrough that spawned his empire. But his main dream was to overcome death and uncover the secrets of creation. It's no coincidence that the ship Weyland sent in 2089 to search for humanity's creators was named Prometheus, in honor of the Titan who stole fire from the gods.
Titan Prometheus wanted to give mankind equal footing with the gods. For that, he was cast from Olympus. Well, my friends, the time has finally come for his return.
Elderly and terminally ill, Peter secretly flew to LV-223 hoping to meet the engineers, a powerful alien race he believed to be our creators, and begged them for an extension of life.
we are creators, we are gods, and gods never die.
This plot of the prequel Prometheus literally illustrates Weyland's god complex, a man striving to become equal to the gods and achieve immortality. He wasn't just seeking to find the creators, he wanted to be a creator himself. It's no coincidence that on the journey he took his best creation, the android David, made in the image and likeness of a human. In the prologue of the film Alien Covenant, there's a scene of the first conversation between the android and Weyland. Peter explains to David that he is the result of human genius, and that he, Weyland, is setting out to seek the ultimate truth.
I am your father. You are my creation.
Weyland asks him to play the piano, and David asks his creator what he should play.
What would you like me to play?
Wagner. The entry of the gods into Valhalla.
The entry of the gods into Valhalla, which is literally a musical theme about the ascent of the gods. Then David notes,
You will die. I will not.
Which leaves Weyland at a loss, demonstrating that the creature he created potentially surpasses him. In the climax of Prometheus, Peter Weyland tries to speak with the awakened engineer. The content of the conversation is known from a deleted scene.
I told him you wanted to live forever.
And Peter himself adds that he is also a creator.
I deserve this, because you and I, we are superior.
As he created David, just as you created humans. In other words, Peter literally tells the alien deity, I am equal to you. I can also create life. Make me eternal. This, apparently, is what prompts the engineer to fiercely kill the presumptuous human. Sir Peter Weyland dies at the hands of the god he reached for.
There's nothing.
A confession, shields of hope, to which David responds,
I know. Have a good journey, Mr. Weyland.
Nevertheless, the legacy of the God complex continues to live on in the corporation itself and its creations. It can be said that for Peter Weyland, money and corporate expansion were merely means. The true goal was immortality and godlike greatness. And although after his death the corporation likely became more pragmatic, the echo of this philosophy remains. So, what drives Weyland-Yutani? The thirst for profit or the God complex? At first glance, it all comes down to money. But take a closer look and it becomes clear. The thirst for profit is secondary. When a corporation controls half the planet and competes on equal footing with other megastructures, money ceases to be the ultimate goal. They become merely fuel for grander ambitions. Any organization is run by people, and people at the top of the food chain are always looking for a new challenge. A hypothetical billion no longer matters when you have absolute power. Then something greater comes into play, the desire to control evolution itself. And here we return to the Xenomorph. It is not only a biological weapon, but also the perfect catalyst for evolution. We have seen how the black goo spawned new forms of life with each contact. The Xenomorph is just one of the stable forms, a product of the mutation cycle. But it is this form that provides the key to what so attracts the corporation, the ability to accelerate and direct human evolution. Weyland-Yutani doesn't just want to earn money, it wants to rewrite nature itself. This is its God complex, which stretches back to Peter Weyland. Therefore, Weyland-Yutani is not just a villainous corporation, but also a symbol of human pride. We have already analyzed Weyland-Yutani's philosophy and its role in the alien story. But, as is often the case, the most interesting things are often hidden in the details. So finally, let's look at some hidden nuances and interesting facts from its history. Weyland-Yutani is the name of not one, but two corporations. After all, this is the story of the merger of two giants, the British Weyland and the Japanese Yutani. According to the prequel canon, the predecessor of the corporation was Weyland Corp, founded by Sir Peter Weyland. Weyland became famous for revolutionary achievements, from terraforming to cybernetics and space flights. It was Weyland Corp that carried out the first private spaceflight beyond Earth in history. Under the leadership of Peter Weyland, A program for the colonization of other worlds was launched. At the same time, the Japanese technology company Yutani Corporation was developing in the East. In the official canon, there are fewer details. According to one source, it was founded in 2074 in Japan and specialized in electronics and cybernetics. In the expanded universe, there are hints that Yutani made a leap in development by mastering alien technology. Either way, by the end of the 21st century, both companies dominated their fields. Weyland in space colonization and biotech, Yutani in cybernetics and weaponry. In 2099, they merged, and the Weyland-Yutani conglomerate was born. This mega-corporate alliance combined the resources of two former competitors and immediately took the lead in numerous industries, from starship and synthetic production to planet terraforming and extraterrestrial colony management. Interestingly, there is a discrepancy regarding who initiated the takeover. Some sources indicate that after the Prometheus expedition failed and Sir Peter died, his corporation weakened, and Yutani effectively absorbed Weyland Corp. Despite the Weyland name brand, it is possible that the Japanese half-dictated the policy of the new conglomerate. In any case, at the start of the 22nd century, Weyland-Yutani became a household name, embodying the power of future transnational business and symbolizing the union of the West and the East. In the first film, the corporation was called Weyland, without the letter D at the end. This can be clearly seen in some scenes. James Cameron, while filming the second part, Aliens, added the letter D and clearly displayed the corporation's logo on screens and sets, solidifying the spelling Weyland-Yutani. Since then, it has remained that way. Although almost no other corporations are shown on screen besides Weyland-Yutani, the lore is full of them. For example, Sixon, this company appears in the game Alien Isolation as a once major European player that created a line of cheap androids but went bankrupt and was partially absorbed by Weyland-Yutani. In the books, LaSalle Bionational is often mentioned, a biotech corporation also dreaming of acquiring a Xenomorph. According to some novels, it competed with Weyland-Yutani on the far frontiers. Hyperdyne Systems is another name from early materials. In the novelization of Alien, it was mentioned that the android Edge belonged to the Hyperdyne Systems series. It was assumed that Hyperdyne was a division of Weyland-Yutani for synthetic development. This tradition continued in the series Alien Earth. There, Weyland-Yutani is also far from the only one. As explained in the very first episode, the world is divided among 5 corporations. In addition to the familiar Weyland-Yutani, there is, for example, Prodigy, a new corporation led by a young tech genius, possessing advanced synthetic and hybrid technologies, including the character Wendy, as well as 3 other corporations, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold. In 2014, a book titled The Weyland-Yutani Report was released. It is designed as if it were a genuine internal report of the corporation with stamps, diagrams, and medical dossiers. The publication presents a meticulously structured history of the company with dates, presented as if the materials were prepared by Weyland-Yutani analysts for management. This book can be considered conditionally canonical, as its release was coordinated with the 20th Century Fox studio. Inside are descriptions of film events, ship and weapon characteristics, as well as secret corporate documents. This was the story of Weyland-Yutani, a corporation that may itself be the main monster of this universe. If you're interested in continuing the Alien series, let me know in the comments. A logical next step would be to analyze the personality of Peter Weyland, the man whose ambitions still shape the corporation's image. Would you like to see such an episode? Support the video with a like and write about it in the comments. Then I'll definitely know it's worth moving forward.